Rittenhouse and the Aubrey trial in the same category because they're really not. You know, Rittenhouse,
Is
I can
Aton
go
here
either way.
cheating? I see her down there. I gotta get this.
Rittenhouse was so political that it goes back and forth. Like it's so political that it's two sides. Half the
Right.
country believe one thing, half the country believe the other. But when it came to Aubrey, I haven't met one person that actually believed, that actually said like, you know what? I think he's innocent. I think the
Nobody
victims are
did.
innocent.
Right.
I've never, and I'm sure they had supporters in their hometown that, like the prosecutor and police chief or whatever. But I mean, literally, I have never seen it on social media. I have never heard a pundit say it. I have never heard anything. That's what separated it. But you talk about the trial of the century and things like that. In my opinion, this was maybe the most important trial for the next generation because it decides how America is going to see cases like this.
Right.
Like this was a very important. Like the Rittenhouse, like I say, was so political, but Aubrey, like because we made so much about race. It comes like when we was talking about the jurors and we talking about like, man, are they going to convict in Georgia? You
Right.
know, and uh, it it and even the jurors, even the white jurors, knew like this was just messed up. Like no matter how you look at it, it didn't take them that long to come. Like this
No.
is like enough is enough.
They was like,
And
"You're on camera. We saw you. You taped it." Like,
and what's funny is they wouldn't even have the tape. He was so convinced that he was right that he took the tape to the cops. And they were
right.
like, you can't even make that up.
Nope. The jurors were like,
You
"No,
can't even
man." But
you
once
can't even make
again,
that up.
but it shows like there's been a pendulum shift, right? It's slowly been shifting, right? Like all things take time. Like we're just very impatient as people, and I understand that we want all the change now, but the pendulum is shifting because what people don't realize that the media didn't put out there was that while Wittenhouse was found not guilty, there was another sheriff who was found guilty, or another officer was found guilty for killing the black man. Same day, but it wasn't news and it didn't make the media because it's not one of those things. Um,
But I mean, let's be fair. There's a difference between police killing people and citizens killing people.
I get
I
it,
mean, I know we
but
want
the
to lump them
pendulum
all
is
together.
shifting all around.
It
That's what
is
I'm saying. The
because
pendulum is shifting. It's
it
like,
is, it is because more and more cops are being fired, more and more cops are
yep,
being, let go and held accountable. And this is when we talk about justice. It's more about, accountability because like we know we're gonna have a crime. Like nobody's saying like that police are never gonna kill anybody. We know they are. We nobody's saying that innocent people are not going to die at the hands of criminals. We know they are. It's all about holding everybody accountable,
right,
and that's what it really comes down to. Is that certain segments of our population was never held accountable, and now we starting to see a shift. And like I say, we can't really judge by the Rittenhouse case because it was 50-50 if you go around the country. Some people didn't even consider the Rittenhouse case. They considered it like a self-defense case. Self-defense was on trial, and it all depends. It all came down to ideology when it came to Rittenhouse, plain and simple. Very few people got away from their ideology of politics and what side of the fence they were on to make a honest assessment on either side of the Rittenhouse case.
fair,
You know, but but the Aubrey, the Mc, the McMichaels, is it the McMichaels or McDaniels? The McMichaels, that was a straight murder. I mean, like
yes,
it was like when people seen the George Floyd.
right.
Like no matter how you feel about police officers, no
I know
matter
what murder looks like,
what
and that
Chauvin
was it.
said, it was nothing you could say. Yeah, it was like yes, the old saying like I don't know what it is, but I know what it looks
I
like.
can't
I know
describe
when I
it, but I
see it.
know it when I see it. Yep, that's what it
Like
was.
no matter, very few people, or very few will say it in public, but very few people was like, you know what, Chauvin did what he was supposed to do. I mean, like when you see the video, you're like,
Holy shit, he's nuts.
I mean, again, even the police chief came out and was like, man, like he
Yo,
even
what happened to our
testified.
scroll? By the way, sorry.
Oh, our comments.
Yeah, our scroll's gone. Like, there's what happened to the scroll? There's supposed to be a phone number.
Oh yeah, I gotta.
What the
I
hell? I'm
didn't even
like,
put all
wait a
that in,
second.
man.
I told peeps there it is. I'm like, you guys can call. They're like, oh, we can call in. Now they're like, man,
Yes, yes.
they were probably all
There we
went
go.
back to
There we
their
go.
own thing, and now they're just hanging out. They don't care no more. They're like, man, y'all just suck
That's
at
all right.
this.
Also,
That's all right.
the Android.
It's just the holidays, so
Right?
I'm a little off. I'm a little running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But man, I mean, like you are right. The pendulum is switching, and it's good. And change is slow. Change is
Yes.
slow, but at least Mallory says she's listening. So hey, shout out to Mallory. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
This
yay.
holiday Wednesday, listening to
Mallory's like, I'm listening
Go
because
there to laugh at Andre. To
Right.
laugh at Andre.
she's at work like this
But-
idiot. I can't believe this idiot's on for YouTube. I gotta listen to this one.
We have to be like change is slow, but it's been very very slow for a long time.
Yeah, but think about it.
And,
Think how long slavery literally took to be ended once like 90% of the nation was actually against it. Think about how long it took for it to really go away. Think about how long Jim Crow ran when everybody was against it. Think about how long it really took for it to go away. Right? Like Jim Crow ended in like 1972, give or take, right? Like officially. And it was up till 90 where folks were still feeling a certain way on site automatically. You know what I mean? Stuff just takes a
wait,
long
no,
time.
no, it's still happening today. What do you
But
mean?
not as bad. I'm saying like they still was stuff was still like black, coloreds only and stuff like that till like the 90s. So
Okay.
right.
But
So
this is the problem, right? Well, change is slow until we got instant cameras, social media, and things of that nature, which kind of speeding up change, I hope. But those things kind of put a spotlight on things that people been complaining about for ages. And it's not just about like when it comes to race, but when it comes to like sexual orientation and anything, any protected class. I mean, now it's one thing to be like, hey, racism exists, and people who never actually had the experience or see it is like, "Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I never seen it."
right.
And then you show it to them on camera, and they're like, "Wow,
What
that,
the-
that actually happened."
Right.
Like that actually, like that's somebody said that or somebody did that, or
Exactly.
it's just a lot different when you actually get a chance to see it. Like being in your face is so different. I mean, it's
Yes.
so different when you have to look at it. That's what made MLK so powerful, is that he knew the images on the media would just shock everyday Americans who did not know or understand or believe what was happening to people that was just being peaceful.
Right.
Seeing water hoses turned on kids has a traumatic effect on you, no matter who you are.
Yep.
I mean, unless you're the one doing it. But I mean, the general public sitting back at home, it's a huge impact psychologically. Seeing dogs sick on people is huge. Seeing bombs like going off in churches or people like
Huge.
seeing,
Walking
seeing
into a
children
church and
kneel
killing
on
people,
George
yeah.
Floyd's neck for 9 minutes. These things have a mental impact that shocks
And it's
the sight.
it's a way of making people, even those who were like, even like the so-called not racist white people, the ones who were just like, oh, how about you just stop talking about it? The world's not that bad. Even they're finally going like, geez, enough is enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're tired of seeing it. Like, they're like, look, this is clearly these people are right. Clearly there's issues and there's problems. I think Americans are starting to come around because it's been so in their face now that they can't ignore it anymore.
But I mean, and also the fact that you never have to see it.
Right.
You
You ain't never gotta
it's
see it.
easy. it's easy if you live in like say rural America, like versus an urban area where you just don't have to see it. You
Yes.
know, out of sight, out of mind. And a lot of people, like, I know it was a debate on like whether America was a racist country or not, or whether the people was racist. And I think Clyburn was saying that America is not a racist country. We have racist systems, but most people are generally probably good people.
Ah,
Most people are racist. I think most people have implicit biases that they don't know about.
implicit bias. Yes.
The biggest issue that we face more so than because people are like they would generally tell you like I'm not racist, I'm not sexist, I'm not, but they may believe a certain way, like they may believe like all Asians are smart, not because they think it's something bad about Asians, but I mean that's just TV what they was growing up, and but they don't know all the pressures that type of stereotype put on Asian Asian Americans.
That's a
Because
lot of pressure to be smart.
all the, huh?
It's a lot of pressure, you think?
Well, it's like the perfect minority theory that if you believe that all Asians are smart, or if people believe that all Asians are smart
Yes.
or geniuses, and if you're not, if you're one of the Asians that's not, you're gonna feel like a failure, or you're doing something wrong, or low self-esteem, depression. There's a lot of pressures that come in with everybody believing you have to be smart, like
Yes.
or more smart than everybody else. Like and that yes, that puts a lot of pressure on Asian Americans because if they you come you get a D or F, everybody looking at you like you're a failure. Like what happened to
Timothy.
you? What happened to you?
Right?
Shout out to Timothy. And that does put a lot of pressure on people. It's like so implicit biases is very dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like and like we seen that in the McMichaels, right? A black guy running through the neighborhood gotta be running from like he gotta
He's
be
got to be doing
wrong.
something. What's he running for? He's
And
got to be
they'll
doing
be the
something.
first ones to say they're not racist. Like we're not racist. They probably got black friends.
But he's up to something.
But they see him running, they're like, dude, no black person is running through this community
Why are you running
because
here?
because they're jogging.
Right.
And Travis said it, he said that people used to go into that apartment all the time. They had multiple thieves. But funny, on the camera, they show other people stopping into that
Right.
to the place that was being built, and they didn't feel the need to chase down anybody else or
Just
corner
the black
anybody else.
guy.
Right, because he was running.
That's suspicious.
And
They killed it.
But I'll say this: I know there was a lot of made about like lawyer ethics.
Ooh, let's have fun with this one.
Since when did lawyers have ethics? I mean, like we
Right.
see lawyers go into court. My coach once told me 3 worst people in the world: preacher, undertaker, and a lawyer. They all take advantage of vulnerable people, and they would do it extreme. And that's pretty like so now all of a sudden we expect a lawyer like defense lawyers represent murderers, they represent mafia gang members, they represent people like they represent pharmaceutical companies who distribute opioid. Now all of a sudden they gotta have morals. Like what? Like so people are like shocked to their core that that this defense lawyer would make a comment on his toenails and his legs, which to me shocked me to my core that people are shocked to their core. Like it's a defense lawyer.
What did
They
you
would
think they're
say
going to say?
Like what? I mean, I would hate to like be under some type of trial and the lawyer like, dude, I could cross that line, but I'm gonna play within the rules. Like, dude, I'm facing life in jail. If you like whatever it takes, you need to be doing. That's what I'm paying you for. And I think that's that. Like,
Well,
it just
they have
shocks
ethics,
me
man.
That people are so surprised.
All that lawyer did was just use whatever was available to be used to sway the jury one way or another. The lawyer didn't make anything up. Yes, the lawyer did some, a little bit of the lawyer did the, what do you call it? The lawyer did the runaway slave thing. I'm all in, I get it. And, the lawyer was hoping, because, the videotape absolutely showed that the man had shoes on. The lawyer was hoping that by saying long, dirty toenails, that they would think of a dirty guy with dirty feet who's just a little dirty black guy, right? But because you have to try to, you have to paint your client or make the victim or whatever in the worst way. I happen to be cool with an attorney who is a defense attorney. Shout out Miss Coleman there. She's with Charles Nation. I don't think she would go to that extreme, but she would. If there's any chink in the armor, anything she can use to get her client off, she's using it because it's what you're paid to do. I mean, that's the lawyer's job. So I don't feel a certain way about the lawyer.
Well, ethics went out the way, right, when they got rid of all the black jurors, right? I mean,
Well, that's ethical too, though. That's the thing. That's ethical. Like it's not like
but
it's
I mean,
not like the
it's
prosecution
if
was
we're
like.
gonna talk about racism, even the judge at the beginning of the trial was like, "Man, it's feeling a little
This is a
about
little,
race."
This isn't
You know,
right,
so
right?
anything that come after that is
Right.
fair game, right?
The judge was like,
all-
"This is crystal clear that you guys are trying to do this."
Yeah.
But-
So right there, you throw out all the race. Like everything's coming now. The kitchen sink is coming.
Right, but even the prosecution was like, "I'm not going to fight it. Go for it. We have you on tape." That's what the prosecutor was like. Go ahead, pick any 12 people you want. When the prosecution opened this case, it said, "This is the tape. I rest my case." Like,
Yeah, I mean,
that's what happened, and they're like,
you know what? What? I mean, the fact that they decided to put Travis on I'm still baffled. Like, they must have knew they were losing completely. So they're like, dude, one of you guys have to talk. If he was the best one out of the three, I can't even imagine how the other two would have did.
somebody had to say something, and Travis got up there and.
He was the best out of the three,
right,
probably,
and the defense was sitting up there like, "Oh my god," and the prosecution was like this.
And what was funny is that I was listening to people talk about the defense on the first day. They was like, well, she did okay. She didn't really attack. She didn't really hammer him and going back and forth. But what I think happened is that she was so shocked that he took the stand.
Right.
And she wasn't expecting it because the next day she creamed him.
Right.
And she probably was so happy and so shocked. Like, is this real? Like,
Oh, the first day when when he was on the stand?
when Travis came to the
Yeah.
stand, I mean, she probably
Oh, in
couldn't
the beginning, she was
believe
just like,
that he,
she probably looked at
yeah,
the fence like,
because she
are you
kind of
sure?
was like bouncing things around. And the
Right.
next day she came back. But
She
I mean,
lit him
like,
up. Woo!
Like, man, it was like a lawyer's textbook on how to
Right?
cross-examine. I mean, he agreed with everything she said.
Right? Wait a second. I'm sure she had a whole list of questions. Like, these would be the perfect questions to ask him, but he's not getting on the stand, right? So when she was packing the briefcase up, she looked at that notebook and she was like, yeah, he ain't getting on the stand. Like, right? And so she kept stuff in, right? And she put it away. She looked at the notebook one more time. She was like, her bag was obviously stuffed. She looked, I ain't got room for that. And next thing you know, he's on the stand and she's like, and I don't have my notebook. Oh, he's mine tomorrow. But, like,
His lawyer should have told him, like, dude, if I raise my hand, just start pleading the fifth. 'Cause,
Right.
I mean, it was like,
it was bad.
I mean, it was one of the worst
But-
self-tell.
Right.
What they say, self-snitching.
He did not snitch on the low.
He was worse than the rappers, wasn't he? With the
Man,
self-snitch.
he went on there and he didn't even snitch. He told the tale. He sat
He was
down
like, nah,
and he
didn't
said,
threaten me.
"So this
Nah,
is
I
what
wasn't
happened."
threatened. Nah, he ain't have a weapon. Nah, yeah, he was like, she was like, and he was running from you, right? He was like,
Yep.
yeah, I let him run past me. I mean, it was like,
So was there really any point where you felt you were really in danger? Well, no, not really. I had a gun.
I mean, you know what? Like I say, man, this case shows that the winds are changing, and as Mallory said, wrong is wrong, and it's sad that it takes so long to change. But we all humans, and we know that humans just don't like change, no matter what it is. It could be even if you're
Humans are
doing
not a
something
fan of change
bad
at all.
for you, you know, even if you're doing something bad and horrible. I mean, I got diabetes, and I know I shouldn't be picking up sweet tarts, but I still go grab a box of sweet tarts, and it's just change is just not easy for anyone,
No.
especially when we all live in our own bubble. You know, you know,
The bubble can
my
be a
my world
pain.
and my bubble is so different than your world and your bubble. It's so different, and Travis bubble and Aubrey bubble, and you live. I mean, it's amazing that we as Americans, like we talk about like two or three different Americas. It's like 1,000 different Americas depending on where you live. There's
Right.
so many different, and I would say 90% of them are probably unfair. But there's so many different Americas
Right.
that
Yeah.
it just depends. Like you're gonna think different. If you're a black person, you grew up in a hood in Chicago, you're gonna think different than a black person that grew up in a hood in Memphis
Huh.
or Jacksonville
Exactly.
or Texas. Because I talk to people when they're like that from Texas, black people from Texas. They love Texas, and I'm like, what? Really?
Dog, I
Black
talk
people who
to
love
tons of
Mississippi,
black folks from Texas. Yeah.
they
I
love
talk with
Texas,
tons.
and I'm like, I won't go back there. Like I moved there for 1 year, and coming from the north, I was just like,
But
whoa.
Jesse, you went from
And
Chicago
the same
to
for Mississippi.
but you went from right, but you went from Chicago to Texas, which has got to be a huge culture shock because all
Culture
black
shock.
folks
It
ain't the
was.
same.
But going from
But then you
Chicago
went
to
from
Madison
there
was
back
a
up to
huge culture
Madison,
shock.
right? And now you live
Huh?
in like the second most racist state in the union, right? Next, the only one that's
first.
more racist than you is Minnesota.
The first.
No, but
I
Minnesota
think
got you
I-
beat. Minnesota's got you
we're
beat.
we're pretty close.
Oh
We got
yeah,
the
one
most
and two,
racist
1A
county.
and 1A and 1B is what we
We
are.
got the most racist county in Dane County and one of the most racist cities. So you might have the most racist state, but
He's
you
like, we
have
got the
city
most
and
racist county.
And
But that's because
Huh?
y'all got Milwaukee, like, or Milwaukee.
No, it's
so you meant
Madison,
Madison.
actually.
Well,
Madison is the worst.
no, consider Madison.
But you know what? And Madison, and I've been living here for like 25 years and 26 years, and I love Madison. Like, I absolutely love Madison, but I also know it's a tough place. It's a tough place if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. It's a tough place if
But isn't
you're,
it tough anywhere where you're
if you
not
don't
doing what you're
have the
supposed to do?
resources. Huh?
Isn't it tough? Isn't anywhere you go tough if you're not doing what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But,
I mean, let's
if
be
you don't have
honest.
the resources here, but if you don't have the resources here,
Woo.
you're gonna be in trouble. It's a college town. That might have an impact. But what's crazy is that it's one of the most progressive places in the world, which is sort of like a huge
It's the people in
oxymoron, if you
charge,
will.
right? It's a
Well-
progressive town, so the populace, the peasants, as it were, are very progressive. However, the king is not so much.
No. Well, the people that run the state, the city, and the county are super progressive. The state, not so much. But we get a lot of shielding from the state by living in Madison. But I mean, it's just very, very weird. I mean, like one of the things they did is like they cut down like one of the problems we have is that black kids get suspended like I don't know 5 times more than white kids.
That happens
They just
everywhere,
pretty much
yep.
just stop suspending black kids, which caused other problems because kids
Right.
were like bringing drugs to school, guns, and it was like hard for them to like suspend kids, and it's like
They
I mean,
overcorrect
it's-
entirely too much. White guilt makes them do entirely too much. Just, you know what? Here's the thing.
sometimes.
No, my thing about white guilt is, you know what? Don't treat us black people so much differently. Just treat us like you treat everybody else. Like, and seriously, maybe still treat us bad, but then treat your own bad white kids the same way. Like, don't not put people in
And
jail.
that's what I was.
Just
you know
do
what?
it
That's
equally.
what I was thinking. That's you know what? Because now the schools have all types of
It's
other
horrible.
problems and police.
No,
they
no,
took the resource officers out of the
Right.
schools.
Still kick them the
because
fuck
they
out, but
said,
kick everybody out.
They kicked the resource officers out of school. Now they thinking about bringing them back because now it's so much. It's like, dude, you don't have to suspend black kids less. To suspend white kids
More.
equally for the same
Exactly.
things that they do. Right. I
Right.
don't want to say more because it's
Right.
so bad, but
No,
for the
suspend them
same
more.
thing,
Right.
you know, because
Make it fair.
it's like someone used this example, like if a black girl bring a knife to school, she was getting suspended for bringing a weapon to school. If a white kid brought a weapon to school, she didn't get suspended because she accidentally, packed her lunch. I mean,
Right.
when she was packing her lunch, she put the knife in the bag. Like serious. That's how it is. And that's why it's so unequal because people do the same types of stuff.
Yes.
But it's just looked at different. Implicit bias, of course, when we were talking about that.
Yep.
But I think Travis, like with the Big Michaels, like they tried to normalize implicit bias during
Okay.
their trial, and it just didn't. It just people were just like, I mean, it was just nothing they could. It was so egregious.
It was so
that
bad.
It shocked the mind. Like, dude, you guys literally truck or 3 pickup trucks. Was
Yes.
it 3 or 2? And
2
and
pickup
you
trucks
told
and
the
they
co-
chased him. Chased him
for
down.
5 minutes.
Right. Like,
Why he's running from him?
and that pissed him
and
off more.
the-
That's why they killed him, because he made them chase him.
To have the audacity to think somebody has to stop and talk to you.
Right.
I mean, what type?
And
Like-
and then because he ran, that automatically, in their eyes, consider this. He didn't know who they were, and this truck pulls up on you like this. So of course
2
you're gonna
trucks.
run. 2 trucks pull up. So of course you're gonna run.
Okay, wait,
and then
okay,
that makes you
first, let's
guilty.
Put it in perspective. Put it in perspective. If you're a black guy,
Right.
and 2
2
pickup trucks pull up
you
on
dip out.
you're running.
You're gone.
You're running. I
See
don't care
ya.
where you at, what city or what town you're in.
Man, you are out.
2 pickup trucks pull up on you.
You're gone. No
don't
questions
care who,
asked.
Or you're getting prepared to fight.
Right.
You're prepared to fight.
Something's
or you're
happening.
like,
But what
yeah,
you're not
I
gonna
mean,
do
like,
is just hang
literally,
out.
We've been taught that since we were little.
Yep.
Like that, and that's our implicit bias, right?
Right.
Hey, pickup truck roll up on you.
Pickup truck, roll
no
up,
problem.
dip. That's it. Go.
Yeah.
Don't
So-
stop and ask
so
questions. Don't
the
be
fact-
high-fiving.
The fact that they felt so entitled that a person has to talk to them,
Right.
like it just amazes me. And
Wasn't
the
one a
crazy thing
retired
is
police officer?
the father.
The father was a retired cop, so maybe
That's
the
why
father
he got
just,
off with all this.
yeah,
That's why the prosecutor and all of them kind of gave him a pass. They said they told him to go clean up,
right.
and if dude didn't bring the tape,
If he didn't
Where
bring the
would-
tape, nobody would have ever known. They
I still
brought.
don't know what he was
the
thinking.
tape.
But it shows the entitlement into how.
But do you
right.
think they watched the
Hey.
tape
Who?
before they turned the tape in? Do you think they went home and sat and watched it? Do you think they just turned the tape in?
No, I think they watched it. I think.
And
I
you
think
think
they
so? You
definitely,
think they turned the tape in, and then went and turned themselves in, and then turned the tape in?
No. I think what I think is that they knew what was on the tape because they did it.
Right,
They
but I don't think they
but
watched the
felt-
tape.
They felt. I think they watched it. I think they felt so justified in what they did. That
The
they're
tape
like,
clearly shows
yes,
their
we were
lie.
100%.
So then why'd they lie to the police?
Remember, they lied to the police initially, right?
And then they gave them the tape and they had to tell the truth.
But they didn't really have to lie to the police because the prosecutor was friends and the police were the friends. So they didn't want to investigate it at all. They didn't even care. The thing is, I think somebody else pulled out a tape, right? And then the Georgia Bureau of Investigation got involved.
No, they turned the tape in.
Right, but I mean,
They turned
it
over the
in.
tape. They turned over because they recorded it. So what I'm saying, Jesse,
Right.
is it's weird, very weird because your brain's like, this didn't happen. But here's this. This is how it happened. They killed the man on tape. They
Right.
reported the man being killed. They just didn't report the tape.
Exactly.
And then they needed to
Right.
They needed to support what they did to hey, we need to actually see some stuff because I'm sure as I said we recorded it all. We have it all on tape. We can show everything. We can prove it. They did not watch the tape.
No, I think they watched it.
Not before they told
I
the
think
police
they
the
felt-
tape existed, because they would have never said the crap that
No.
they. Because I think in their heads they thought it happened the way it happened, the way that they said it. Although the tape shows something different. It's kind of like 4 people can watch something
No,
and
you're
everybody
not
has a
gonna
different
turn over
story.
the tape without watching it. Let's be real.
No, they
I
did.
believe they watched the tape. But they
Now you're
felt
giving
so
these idiots
convicted.
more credit than they deserve. You just can't
Yeah,
accept
you
the
are
fact that
because I
somebody's
think they
that
felt
stupid.
so justified. But look at Travis on the stand. They felt so justified in what they did that they didn't think they did anything wrong. They still probably don't believe they did anything wrong. So the tape to that in their mind shows we were defending ourselves against this hostile black
The
guy that
hostile
got
guy
mad
who was
because
running from them the whole entire time.
we were smoking. He got mad at us. But remember, we just seen this. Well, the Trayvon Martin was the exact replica of the same thing. Zimmerman is stalking this kid
Right.
and talking to the police, and the police are like, "Stop following him, back off." He ended up getting into a fight with him.
He picked the
Killed
fight.
Trayvon and got off and said, "Like,
But
yes,
you know
we got
why
into a
you know
fight."
why you know what witnesses said. You remember what the witnesses said about the whole George shooting Trayvon, right? When he shot Trayvon, Trayvon was in the process of whooping his ass.
Right,
Yes, he picked the
I
fight,
mean, what
but
I'm saying is, George Zimmerman was found.
Zimmerman was found not
this
guilty.
Is,
Yeah,
this is the exact same case. They followed and stalked him, thought he was doing something wrong.
right.
They were wrong, but
They
they
were
did,
wrong.
and then they ended up killing him. It's the exact same thing. When Aubrey decided to fight back because he was cornered,
Right, and then they killed
this is
him.
the exact
Yeah.
100%.
I get it.
They feel that they did, like Zimmerman felt he did the right thing. They still probably feel like we were right. He attacked us.
Right,
Like,
and
dude,
the
you
only
cornered
one
him.
who had stand your ground with anything was Aubrey. The other three didn't. Those three guys did not have stand your ground anything. Aubrey was
Yeah,
literally
right.
the only one who had stand your ground.
But in their head, they believe that they were right.
Yes.
That's the crazy part. They believe that, like, I mean, to this day, you can't tell them probably, like, dude, you were wrong because they like, all we did was self-defense. I mean, it's crazy. Like people, you know, like it's interesting how the human brain thinks so different depending on the person. I mean, they really believe they did something right,
Yes, they
you
do.
know, and it's gonna be. I mean, just the fact that Travis got on the stage, it was like, yeah, he didn't do anything. I mean, literally, he felt so justified.
Right.
But also, you know who else felt justified in believing what they was selling?
Who's
Is the
that?
lawyers. Because
Yeah.
any credible lawyer would have been like, dude, you are not saying that to anybody. Like, don't ever repeat that again. And the lawyer would have never, like, the lawyer obviously believed it was self-defense because there's no way you put him on a stand.
No, I think the lawyer. I think they knew they needed to put somebody on the stand, and Travis was probably the least. How do I say this right?
Dumpster fire.
Of the three racists, he was probably the least racist of the racists, and as the son and the actual.
He's the one who actually did the killing.
Yeah, but he's the one that got raised by the racist and then was helped out by another racist. He was the youngest of the bunch. So it's almost fair to...
I think Brian was probably the least culpable of the
the third guy who joined in the pursuit?
one that recorded it.
He just joined in, right? Like so here's the thing. Son and Pops was
Simon?
fine. But then good old Johnny Bill Bob with the tape, with the VCR, with the phone comes. He's recording everything. I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna catch this. We gonna get this bitch right here. I'll tell you what we gonna do. We got woohoo! We got a live run, boy, run. That's what's going on. And then all of a sudden,
But to be fair, he had a coming to Jesus moment though, right? Because on Friday
big
he was
time.
like, all right. He was like, all right, let's just make a deal. The prosecutor was so confident, and Aubrey's mother was so confident that they were getting a conviction.
No deal.
They're like, no deal. Because how often do they say no deal?
it was on tape. They were like, no.
I was worried that they might regret not taking a deal, especially when he first got like what they name off, like the first 3 or 4 that he wasn't
Right.
culpable for, like not guilty. I'm like, no, and then all of a sudden, once that first guilty came in, and you know what? To be truthful, I give the jury a lot of credit because
They only
you
needed
could
to be
tell
guilty
they
of
didn't-
one thing.
But you could tell the jury really sat there and thought about it and talked it through because methodically each person was found guilty for what they did. They didn't just
Yep.
have like, all right, guilty. Like, okay, you're not guilty for this, you're not guilty for that, but you're guilty for that. I mean, like,
Right.
I was surprised that they had like 5 felony murders or like that's a lot of like I was like, I would never really understand the American justice system.
Not only are you
But
guilty,
whatever it was good.
you're guilty
I'm
of
gonna
felony
remember what
murder
I
one.
was.
You're guilty of federal murder 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and 12.
Yeah.
What? Yep, just those. But
So-
what about the ones in between? Nope. You're okay. You're okay on those. But no, they.
And what's crazy? Is I was looking at because I was watching it and looking at looking at their reaction. It was just like no emotion, you know. And you probably got to be stoic and tough. But imagine like going to court and then they just tell you like you're done. Like
Well, they
hopefully
didn't
you
get
sold
out.
your house. Hopefully you, huh?
Well, they didn't get out, so.
Right. What I mean, like you go to court, you drive to court, and you're like, hey babe, you got to take my car back home.
Ha.
Put it in a warrant ad. I mean, like literally, your life, as you know it, is gone. And if you didn't think that you were going to be convicted, and you didn't start handling business and all of that, like literally, you know, you're going to be mortgaging and selling stuff from behind bars. I mean, like life as you know it when you walked in today is pretty much done because there's really nothing to appeal in this court. Like in this case, there's really no grounds. You like the prosecutor didn't give you anything to appeal on. The only thing is Jesse Jackson came. That's the only thing you got. And there was a lot of black preachers around. Like literally, the
Your
prosecutor.
Honor,
didn't
we'd like
do
to
any-
file here this appeal under statute 44579.AE. As you can see here, it says clearly there are too many negras in the gallery. We cannot have a fair trial with all these negras here. So what we need is more white faces back there so they can make our jury over here feel comfortable. These negras make these white people uncomfortable. These white people had no choice but to see my clients as not guilty. What'd you think they were going to do? They had to be guilty. What'd you think? It would burn down the city if they would have came back not guilty. Because, you know, they had him on video. I need to know.
Well, I want to give Georgia props though.
Georgia.
Let's see. First they said a black got a Congress. They said a Jewish got a Congress.
Right.
And now, you know,
They put Biden in the
found,
White House. They told Trump, screw you!
I mean, literally Georgia.
Georgia,
you
when
just-
Georgia changed, when Georgia flipped, America, that was the pendulum shift. Georgia flipped. That was the pendulum shift. And it's not shifting back. Georgia can't go back.
And let's remember, Stacey Abrams barely lost.
Barely. And he
being governor
cheated.
of Georgia.
He cheated like crazy. Like, they
But
cheated
she barely
badly.
lost. She barely lost. In Georgia, they did say Georgia. There's a lot of places that
Georgia won the election for Biden, and not Stacey Abrams is not on Biden's cabinet. Neither is what's her face, the mayor. I cannot think of Keisha. Mayor Bottoms is not Mayor Bottoms is not on the cabinet. Doesn't even get a hello or how you doing. Like
But
seriously,
we don't know if they were offered it and chose not to.
no,
I'm not
neither
sure Stacey
one of them
Abrams-
would have said no. Because what's her face done,
I don't know. Stacey Abrams.
Bottoms
they
is
talked to
done,
her.
and Abrams.
Bottoms said she got bigger. She has more ambition.
She lost. She
But-
can't run for anything. She lost. She cannot run for any. Well, she probably run for president.
Well, but to be fair, Stacey Abrams, when they talked to her about maybe joining like federal, she said she got a lot of work to do in Georgia. She also said that she's really want to focus on getting people out to vote. And I don't really know if she was offered anything or not, but I think her goal is to become the governor of Georgia, and she was this close. So for her to stay back home and
Wait.
focus on getting people voting,
'Cause she
and
look- right.
and as you can see with the voting laws changes, they need somebody to stay home.
Georgia is not playing around. These niggers, they don't need there's enough voting booths. They can walk 50 miles and go vote. Them niggers is out in the streets all day. They can walk and go vote. They ain't doing nothing but sitting around anyway.
Well, you already got to wait like 8 hours in line
Right?
to vote in Georgia.
They ain't got no jobs.
live in
They can
an
wait
urban
12 hours. Like,
And you know who else better be careful?
Who?
Because Texas is not that far from seeing a blue wave. Not that there'll be Democratic state, but there's a lot of people moving into Texas from a lot
California.
of super blue
But
California
the
is
people who left,
green.
but the blue people didn't leave Cali. The red people left Cali.
No, people in Cali are blue. They just not like a lot of blue people left. They're just not progressive blue. Like there's a lot of blue people that left for business reasons because look. I mean, I actually watched a documentary on a lot of people that was leaving. There's a
Progressives
lot
are
of
going too
blue
far
people,
though.
and
They're not going to vote. But they're
Texas
not going to
people are
vote
not
for
happy.
progressives. If they left because of progressives,
the
they're not
same
going to
thing-
vote for progressives.
But the same thing happened with Arizona too. A lot of California people are coming into what was that song? Don't Oregon my California or don't California my Oregon or something
Oh
like
God,
that.
I have no clue. I don't want to know. I want nothing to do with it. I just know that I think progressives. No, we won't get into you and your progression. I will tell you this: in our clubhouse thing and on our clubhouse group, we were debating having a topic about. We were talking about black folks, and one of our guys said black people. He said if you just listed a bunch of political opinions or positions but didn't say a party, most black people would pick all the Republican stuff. And I was like, huh. I was like, okay.
Wait. Not most black people.
The
Most black men.
And
Black men are very conservative.
and black women are conservative too because they're married to the
No,
conservative
I don't think
black
so.
men.
I think black women are way more progressive
Do you have
than
sisters?
black men.
Like
Yes. And I have daughters too, and they're super. My daughters are way more progressive than I am.
that's because
And
you
that-
are way. That's because you are very
that's because I
progressive.
live in Madison. Actually, it's because I live in Madison. I mean,
Fair.
Madison, like I say, if you're here, you're gonna be super progressive. The thing is that like we voted like 95% Biden or something. I don't know. We actually vote a lot of third parties too. With the Green Party is pretty big in Madison, but I think
I
black
love the Green Party for what's a
women
joke.
are way more. Look at the voices of the progressive movement.
The squad.
You know, it's a lot of women of color.
Name the black woman on the squad.
Cori Bush.
All right, name the black woman
I like her.
of substance on the
She's
squad.
she's from Missouri.
The black woman of substance on the squad. No, I'm kidding.
She slapped at the Capitol, didn't she? Who else would do that over housing vouchers or eviction law? I mean, progressives are holding it down. Why do you think AOC is the most hated person in Congress?
Because
I mean,
she's, to be
they hate her
fair,
because she's
she
so
says
powerful.
something. She's not powerful at
She's
all.
so powerful.
She is not
She what?
powerful. She has no power.
Dude, she did a fundraiser for Texas and raised like $10 million in.
That's not power. That just means you're popular. That's not power. That's,
money is power.
No, but she
Okay,
doesn't have any
popular.
money.
What?
She doesn't have any money.
Oh my God. Okay, AOC is probably the most relevant.
Once again,
Her and-
that's not money. You're equating a bunch of different things here.
What do you mean? Like,
All right,
you saying
AOC
she can't fundraise?
AOC can fundraise, but that doesn't make her powerful. It just makes her. It just
Okay,
makes
so
she
she
can raise
can
funds.
fundraise. If you can fundraise, it makes you powerful. Why do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene got a?
They all.
voice?
Marjorie Taylor Greene sucks at fundraising. That's why she got all the help she got.
No, she doesn't. She raised more money than like every Republican in Congress.
She got a hell of a
Why do you
push.
think they put up
She
with
got
her?
a hell of a push from freaking Trump. She would have never did that without him.
No, she don't. She raises. There's a lot of.
She was
Marjorie
already,
Taylor
and she was
Greene
filthy
fans.
rich anyway. But that's why she lost her
I'm
basketball
not talking
team.
about rich. I'm talking about raising money. She's probably like the top Republican, top 2 or 3 Republican money fundraiser in the whole Congress.
Yeah, because they
I'm
use.
gonna have to look that up.
You have to look at what she uses. You have to look at her emails. Because I just know I was getting the little emails from Trump about helping raise money for her campaign, and helping raise money for the other jackwad down in Florida. What's his face?
Gates.
No, the mayor.
You mean the governor?
The governor, yeah.
DeSantis?
Yeah, and then I got mailers about and here's what pissed me off, right? Because I told you I did the whole
You get Republican.
I did the no because I did the Republican convention.
Donation,
No, because I
you
did
get Republican donation.
I did the Republican
you get
convention,
Republican
right?
donation. Thank you,
No,
letters.
I did the Republican convention thing. So I got to do become a delegate and experience that, which was awesome. And I I understand you want to poke fun at me, but in Minnesota, the only way to become to participate in that system is to do it through the Republican Party, right? Otherwise you could just read about it, right? That's just stupid. So, but what happened? You put your email on whatever, and I never signed with anything with Trump, but because Trump became the candidate, he got full access to the whole Republican RNC mailing list, right? And then that dude, he still sends out letters. He's still raising money, like legit. He is still sending out stuff to raise money.
They decided last week that they're going to pay off his legal, like they're going to give $100,000 to his legal fund to help him, which is some of the Republicans are pissed.
Yeah.
They're like, this shouldn't be the most important thing on our agenda.
They owe him. But they owe him.
Trump.
They owe him. They owe him big.
They owe him what? That they lost the House, the Senate, and presidential.
All the action. No.
They lost.
Well, let's see.
They lost both branches of government that they controlled.
Well, here's the thing. They didn't actually really lose the House because they didn't have the House, and they
lost it under Trump.
They lost the Senate. No, they lost the Senate by 1 seat. So they didn't actually really lose the Senate per se. It's a tie.
Yeah, but they actually lost the Senate.
But every president loses seats during the midterm. That's every single president, right?
They lost all three branches of government.
Trump lost. No, Trump
lost.
Yes, but here's the thing.
And he lost by like 8 million votes.
Jesse, I fully get you. They won. They lost. Here's my question. What is it of importance that the Democrats are passing since they have all three? Since the Democrats have full control of all three branches, what's being done? I'll wait. Nothing. You know why? Because they don't have control. They have the House. They don't have control of the Senate.
That's the infrastructure bill. Is that important?
Not
major legislation?
And at the expense of what? So basically,
no. You asked what they did. They passed the infrastructure.
Yeah, but they were going to do that anyway. It's not like that was never going to happen.
Not major.
But because they do that shit.
So
every
they have
time.
passed something, right?
They got to pass something, right? Exactly.
They have passed something.
Yeah, they passed the infrastructure bill like that. What's it going to happen in the first place?
That's huge.
No, it's not. It's what they do anyway. You act like it's not what they do every year.
It's over $1 billion. What are you talking about?
Dude, they pass bills like that. Every president stuff passed like that. It's not like it doesn't happen.
What? We haven't had roads. What did
Obama got money. Obama got money for roads and highways and everything else. Yes, he did. You act like you want to look all shocked. No, it's not. It's no different than what Obama got. The major overhaul would have been the free college. That would have been good. You're the progressive. Not one progressive thing was done. No, it was all supposed to be in this one bill. It went from $3 trillion to 1.5. Everything that was supposed to be.
You're talking about two separate things.
No,
so
everything that was supposed to be good was taken out.
You're talking about the human infrastructure bill, right?
Everything that was good was taken out. They took out the free college. They took out the Medicare
not good
stuff.
For you, right?
They
but
took
anyway,
out. They took out.
Okay,
you're the progressive who lost everything. Oh my God!
How did I lose anything?
The progressive, not one progressive,
I can't lose anything I never had, right?
Jesse, not one thing the progressive wanted was in that new bill that they passed, and nothing is going to pass in the next one because the Republicans are going to go no, because they don't have a supermajority. The Democrats need a supermajority. The Democrats are going to lose. No,
they just need one extra person.
They need a supermajority. They need 6 more.
No. They just need one
Jesse,
person.
they need 56 votes.
Okay, they need one person to change the filibuster rules. That's what they need.
That's not going to happen.
Joe Manchin is the only person is standing in the way.
Yeah, because he doesn't want. No, because you can't change the filibuster rules.
Arizona senator.
You can't change.
You can.
No, you can't, because then what happens the next year, Jesse, when you lose the Senate?
So okay. So you not that you can't. You saying they won't?
Yeah, because they're not stupid. The filibuster keeps the filibuster keeps everybody honest. Because here's what happens, Jesse.
How?
Listen,
the filibuster favors the minority.
Listen, right? Because without it, the majority does
Which
whatever
is
it wants.
dumb.
No.